Hi, I'm Austin. I've been in love with video games since I was a wee little lad back in kindergarten one night. We were slinging it. Now, most of the time when I was younger, I was mainly watching my brothers play because they had all the power to hog it all goddamn day.
Mom says my turn to play the game.
So, I watched my older brother play Shining Force on the Dreamcast, Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, but he loved Star Fox 64. My other brother also played Star Fox, while he also played Mario Kart 64, Donkey Kong 64, Mario Kart 64, pretty much like anything in 64, you know what I mean? But he also played Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. That game just is embedded in my brain, like just the visuals of it. I don't know, it just looks like it just has an aura and a vibe to it. And it was like Dark Souls with blasters. Now my third brother, I don't really remember early on watching him too much. Maybe Tony Hawk Pro Skater. We all played Smash together. I know he was a Link main back in the day, but something I heard all the time, baby, was But there was a time where we used to go to this store called iJag. iJag was an acronym for It's Just a Game. Inside was filled with hundreds of computers. More like 20. I was 5 years old. The world was big. Get over it. While my other brothers would play Warcraft 3, he would actually play Battlefield 1942 Desert Combat, a mod created by Trauma Studios set in Iraq during the first Gulf War. This was such a popular mod that DICE actually went and bought the company so they can join together and make Battlefield 2. It was a blast just sitting behind his chair watching the computer screen as he guns down another man, as the other man in the room like 10 feet away going, "What the fuck?" Those moments watching him do that planted a seed that wouldn't blossom into the year 2007. But we'll get back to that. It's a whole nother video, another can of worms. So growing up, I watched a ton of games, but when I could get my grubby little hands on the consoles or whatever it may have been, there was two genre of games I went to. One was wrestling games, and the other was football. Now, today's kind of a two-parter video, so we're gonna deal with this guy over yonder, so this dude can, cause we gonna talk about wrestling.
Generations. Much can be learned from past generations. For past generations write history. They become history. The past may have already been written, but the future awaits a new generation.
Oh my God! It's SmackDown versus Raw! Sports entertainment will never be the same!
Now, before I get fully into this video, I want to do a little disclaimer. This is not a wrestling channel, despite most of this channel being, wrestling games and wrestling videos. This is not a wrestling channel. You can go back to my older channels and see a bunch of wrestling videos as well, but those weren't either wrestling channels. It's just what happened, okay? It's not a wrestling channel. Please watch. Anywho, now that intro was pretty epic, gamer, but out of the games shown there, they all are pretty good and they have great moments and greatness inside of them, but the two best here are SmackDown Shut Your Mouth and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Here Comes the Pain notoriously being the best who ever did it, while very many would say No Mercy for the N64 would be up there, so I'm gonna give it an honorable mention, even though I technically, to my memory, never really played it. Now, I grew up playing Shut Your Mouth and Here Comes the Pain all the time. It's so intertwined with my childhood. The gameplay of the two games are virtually the same. They're the same guy. But Here Comes the Pain is graphically better. It has new improvements, but it also is missing great things from Shut Your Mouth that just weren't carried over. Shut Your Mouth Season Mode had a free roam element where you could walk around the stadium area, run into other wrestlers, which your interactions with them would be a side quest in some way. Like, you would have superstar points. If it went south, you lost some points. If you stood your ground, you went up some points. If it led to a fight, you'd fight right there where you guys met. Or sometimes it'd be like, let's take it to the ring, brother. But Here Comes the Pain eliminated this feature, which was actually kind of a good thing because the free roam mechanic, you know, pretty dope, wasn't very great because it felt so empty. Like 99% of the time, anyone you'd find was in the spawn room, and if you decided to go anywhere else, you usually didn't find anybody in the other 7 locations you could look in, and if you didn't find anyone, you'd have to walk your skinny fat ass back. Here Comes the Pain Season Mode pretty much turned this feature into a small little menu. Tells you, hey, someone's in the locker room, go talk to them. Someone's in the parking lot, go talk to them, enjoy. You know, it streamlined it. It still had those moments of discovery, but it was just tied to a menu now. Here Comes the Pain Season Mode was 1 full year with variety of storylines, depending on your superstar points, which show you're on, and if you were the world champion. Now, Shut Your Mouth had the same, you know, variety of storyline, but it was 2 full years. What happened? In both games, you could go to the general manager's office, talk to the GM, and be like, hey, yo, wise guy, I want the world title around the waist. You know, and you'd get it. And Here Comes the Pain, fuck. And Shut Your Mouth, when you do that, you'd be put into a storyline, and it would lead to the next pay-per-view, which there you would have your title match. And Here Comes the Pain, you ask for a title shot, you get it that week, no story, you win the title, cool, you have that title now. It wasn't as fun, it wasn't as enjoyable. It was just, here you go, now do it, now congrats, you got it. What you want, a lollipop? Now, I could go on and on and on about the differences between the 2 games. For example, Shut Your Mouth had King of the Ring Tournament, which was fun to play. Here Comes the Pain to introduce Elimination Chamber, bras and panties.
You gonna make me act up.
And blood. That's all I got is blood. Shut Your Mouth, you could climb the chair at this King of the Ring arena, or you can also do the damn thing on SmackDown. You can smack down the SmackDown fist, and you eat off of it. Whereas Here Comes Pain had Times Square. Hell, here's a quick story. There's one time my dad took me to his friend's house who had a pool, and we were supposed to go swimming, but while I was in the house looking in one of the rooms, I noticed there was a PS2 with SmackDown Shut Your Mouth on it. And I was like, oh my god, nothing's gonna stop me, I'm gonna play it. Even while I was playing it, is my dad's friend's daughter's, you know, came into the room in a 2-piece bikini with the top hanging off, some nipples like kind of popping out. She was a couple years older than me, you know, it was pretty lit. But she was like, oh, can you tie it for me? And I did, kind of, from my memory. I didn't know how to tie my shoe yet, I think. But when I did that, she was kind of low-key begging me to go swimming. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Because bitches be temporary and gaming is forever. When it comes to my childhood, these games are the upper echelon of what I loved as a child. Especially in the wrestling games. In the wrestling games, like Space, these were the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. But this ain't the only bangers that wrestling games came out with. Let us take our DeLorean to the future to 2005 for the release of SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. Now, its season modes were becoming a little bit more linear, a little bit more, you know, less replayable, I guess. It introduced fully voice-acted storyline, even the wrestler, the superstar you chose, they were fully voice act too, which was pretty dope. But unfortunately, at this time, the graphics were going up, but the gameplay was going down. It was getting slower, it was getting sluggish, it was getting way too stiff. And not the good kind of stiff, but the bad kind of stiff. 11 soft, good stiff, and bad stiff, boring as fuck. But there was just one little saving grace for these games, and that was the introduction of GM mode, the single greatest mode created for any wrestling video game. You take control of a brand, you draft a roster, you book the shows, and see how it does against an opposing show. Now, the point of GM mode is to book a show. It gets rated from 1 to 5 stars as a whole. Every match individually also gets a rating, but together makes 1 rating for the show. You put that up against the rival show, depending if you're Raw or SmackDown, you know what I mean? You make money off the show. You also have to spend money on the show. You also have to pay for the contracts for your wrestlers, which also they can even get injured if you work them too hard, as well as a morale system in which if they ain't happy, they'll email the other show and be like, hey yo, buy out my contract. I don't like the fact that this guy keeps putting me in women's matches. And then boom, pow, I ain't got a world champion. What happened? Now, the next year for SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, GM mode returns with new improvements like giving roles to your wrestlers, if they're a heel or a face, which if you're not a mark, that means good guy, bad guy. There was a Power 25 where if you want a certain wrestler to go for maybe your world title, you can't just give him the shot. He has to actually work up this power ranking and earn it. Like, it even more meaning to the game. There was a brand new storyline feature, which is just a rivalry system. Before, you could just make a match, then if you just keep putting on matches, there'll be a rivalry. In this new version, you have to make a rivalry, make sure the rivalry fits, and it'll have some description like, I'm an American, you're not, you ate my dog, something crazy like that, you know what I mean? And that's how the rivalries would start, which would added some more substance, but kind of took away the freedom and control. Good and bad. It's a weird mechanic that was added. Needs more improvement in the future, you know what I mean? Now in SVR 07, you actually took control of the brand for a full year, whereas in 06, it was 2 full years. Why do they keep doing this? Why do they keep pulling it back and ruining it? They've been doing this since the 90s. Now the next year, SVR 08 came out, and the one thing I'll say about it is, even though I loved my time with you, and I enjoyed it because I was a child, you make me sick. When a game franchise comes out every single year since you were alive, I started way back in 2000 with Shut Your Mouth, when they've been releasing a game every year since 1989, with some exceptions of some doubling up from time to time in a single year. I can go on and on and on about things they have taken away and brought back and taken away and didn't continue, even though it was brand new in this game and it was great, and when the next year I was hoping to see the improvements and it wasn't even in the game. Again, I just want to reiterate I just want to tell you, let you know that this is not a wrestling YouTube channel. It just ain't. It's just a channel that has a lot of wrestling games showcase. It's what I started on. Back in the day on my 2 original channels, I literally started with wrestling content. Here's a little sneak peek of one of my first commentaries ever. Okay, what's up? I am ATM Finger. Hopefully I'm not that loud or sound like a girl. Say hi, my dual commentator.
What's up? It's Malik.
Universe mode was a big thing for wrestling games and a huge thing for wrestling YouTube content. It's pretty much what every wrestling YouTuber did. They either played Universe mode, Did it scripted? Did it just playing in to see what happens? That's kind of how I did it back in the day. Kind of set it up, future on, you know, whatever. But the mode itself, even though has so much potential, has been quite honestly for, you know, 10 years a turd, kind of, to be honest. It was pretty much a turd. Literally, like, I remember all the time the big rivalry would always be Brock Lesnar and Alex Riley, or John Cena and Alex Riley. Now, playing the newest game, 2K22, when I was testing out the universe mode for the first time, it literally was doing the same thing. I had Brock Lesnar versus Elias. Now, I think Elias is a big star, you know what I'm saying? I don't really watch the product that much, but I think he's a big star. I think I bought a t-shirt. I don't remember. But why? Why is that a thing? It should be Brock versus Undertaker or something. Why is it always some goober dude going one-on-one? Like, I remember going 9 months straight. I simmed. I looked at every pay-per-view and I was just simming it. Every month it was Booker T and Mark Henry swapping the WWE title constantly. After like 9 months, 9 straight months of pay-per-views, main event being that, I took the title off. I think I put it on Sheamus, if I remember correctly. You know what that led to? That main event WrestleMania with the title again. Like, what? How's this happen? It's been like this for 10 years. The mode has not worked for 10 years properly. It works. You can play it. But it never goes how you want it to go. It's always some nonsense like what's happening. You win the Royal Rumble. Good for you. You won a match. You're not going to go to WrestleMania. The game's too dumb to realize to put that code in. That used to work back in when his debut of 2011. But in 2022, nope. Ain't going to happen. You won the Money in the Bank briefcase? That's lit. You're going to cash it in? You're going to win the match? Nope, you're not going to get the title. You're still going to have that briefcase. You're going to hold on to that bad boy forever like you're holding on to Dogecoin. I just needed to hit $84 and I'm a millionaire, goddammit. Want to know something funny? The intro I showed you earlier in the video for SmackDown vs. Raw, when it shows the game SmackDown Know Your Role,
Much can be learned from past generations.
and the funny thing is, Know Your Role's career mode was seemingly infinite, like Universe mode. It had cutscenes, which were random, and told a better story. Not only that, but it was a 4-player mode. You can do 4-player co-op, as you can see New Legacy, a YouTube channel that does wrestling, doing great, very funny. I sleep to them constantly. They did a 4-man career mode, which was excellent. You could, and these cutscenes that happened, they didn't even involve you all the time. Like, you could be playing as Kurt Angle, and you could have a cutscene of The Rock calling out Kane, being like, Kane, you big red bastard, I want you in the middle of this ring right now, yeah. And I want you to give me that voice box so I can shine it real nice. Turn that sumbitch sideways and stick it up your Kenny ass. Then like Kane would appear on the Titantron and be like, if I lose this match, I will set myself on fire. Now, before I end this video, I want to add a quick little story. During the lockdowns of 2020, WWE 2K Games, they posted something on IG and I commented, I will never buy a wrestling game again unless GM mode returns, which I hadn't bought one from 2015-ish, you know, the game 2015, to about 2022. I did buy 2019, wasted $120, but I really wanted a Funko Pop. It was really bad and I had money, so, you know, fuck you. But little Randy, little boy, little man-child, replied to me arguing that Universe mode was better than GM mode, which hasn't had any great mechanics added to it, was not enhanced, was not fixed, it's just broken. You know, he's just arguing that GM mode shouldn't return, Universe mode is better. And I simply argued that if they just add GM mode, they would have improvements, and they could have those improvements made into universe mode. And his reply was simply, still shouldn't be added because it will take away development from universe mode. You should just use your imagination. That's the problem, Vince! I shouldn't have to use my imagination to make a gaming experience better. The gaming experience should simply be better. In October of 2019, WWE 2K released WWE 2K20, a game that released broken and a soulless mess. Literally, the game is called 2K20, and when the calendar year digitally hit January 1st, 2020, it was like Y2K but for the game. The whole game's servers crashed, deleted, died, exploded, and they literally had to fix it. A game that was called 2020 didn't work in 2020. It's hilarious that this could even happen because of such a magnitude turd 2K20 was. 2K announced that they were going to skip 2021 and release 2022 in 2022. To my knowledge, the first sports game or game that has the year in it. Even cars have the year in it. This is the first one to ever release, and the actual year it's coming out in. You know, you can buy a freaking Toyota Corolla 2023 right now, and it's not 2023 yet. You know what I mean? You get what I'm putting down, dog?
Where did he come from?
But the game came out for 2022, and I think, to my knowledge, it had some server issues. But it was actually pretty damn good. I bought it because they returned GMO back as my GM. Suck it, Randy, you turd. Now, the game released, it was fun, you know, and I enjoyed it. I played as much as GM mode as I could, or my GM, excuse me. I have a ton of videos about it on the channel. Not a wrestling not a wrestling channel. Now, and after coming back to the game and playing a little bit just to make this video, I was actually having a blast just playing matches. So I might inadvertently, mistakenly, regretfully do a mini little series of me playing universe mode. I'm going through my childhood, I guess. I don't know, man. But the thing is, this game came out and it was actually good. It didn't keep me as long as I felt like it could have. They made improvements on the way. They enhanced my GM, even though I never got to experience those enhancements. But this franchise, in its entire history, is known to make great steps towards something and then the next year take it away. Just like someone else I play all the time, which we'll talk about on another day. But this franchise itself does wonders, taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. They took a year off and took a massive leap forward, which the next game probably coming out March 2023. There's been no announcements, but I guess in recent history, 2K has been hush-hush to their games, mainly, you know, the NBA, apparently they do this too. But the thing is this is intertwined with his DNA of just deleting things, not bringing things back, and just screwing up. They took a year off. They got better. Assassin's Creed was mediocre for years, took a year off or so, got better, and then apparently I think they need to kind of do that again from what I've heard. I don't know. I haven't played since Assassin's Creed 2, so don't kill the messenger. But now even Call of Duty is doing the same thing, skipping a year in 2022. Or in 2023, excuse me, and then releasing a new game for 2024, something they haven't done since 2007. This game, it should be to set a precedent in the next game. It should be better, but living with this game my whole life, I'm used to the disappointment and it not falling through. Also, I'm an adult, and you know, Wrestling's just not that cool. Like, I like it and I keep up with it, but I haven't watched a full show in like 10 years, to be honest. I went to WrestleMania and it literally murdered my bank account, so please subscribe to my Twitch channel. I need money! When you spend so much time with a game, franchise, or any product in the industry, growing up with it, you always want it to be good, and when it sucks, it breaks your heart, and when it's good, it captures just a little glimmer of your childhood. But with one thing I'll leave before I end this video, is that this is not a wrestling channel, goddammit! You silly SOB! And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold Steve Austin says so! That did not work!
That's the bottom line.